We're back, everybody. It's been a little over a week since we planted all these food plots, and we're just gonna do a quick plot update and see how everything's going. There is a fawn standing out there next to the corn right now. Boy, that thing is tiny for, I don't know how good you guys can see that, but that fawn should be seemingly a lot bigger than it is. That looks pretty small. Must have been born really late. But anyways, this was that blend from RAVLIN Hill Archery, that brassica turnip mix, and as you guys can see, it's coming up really well. Got great germination, really even germination across the whole plot. Pretty much everywhere you go, you can see some brassica coming up, and it looks like it's the seed rate was pretty much right on the money. I did a little bit of an experiment this year too. So this plot I rototilled and seeded. With the rain coming the next day, I wanted to try to see what the difference would be if I didn't roll it. So I didn't roll it and then seed it and then roll it. I literally rototilled it, seeded it, left, didn't roll it. So I just wanted to kind of see, you guys can tell it's coming up really well. I did roll it in spots where I was picking up all the rocks, so there are places where it was rolled, but you really can't see any difference from where, you know, the cul-de-packer went over it to where it didn't. Now this plot over here, I planted the same exact brassica mix and I rolled the whole thing. So let's go check that one out and see if there's really much difference. The corn's looking really nice too. There's about an acre of corn right here that down in the bottom corner is that clover and chicory plot that's really lush. It looks really, really good. Geez, that's kind of weird looking over here. It looks like an ear of corn grew out of the top of the, I don't think I've ever seen that before. There's an ear of corn growing on the, that is bizarre. Oh, look at that, there's another one. What in the heck? There's some weird stuff going on with this corn over here. Maybe that's normal, but I've never seen it. If you've seen corn growing off the top of the stalk like that, let me know. That's a first for me. Holy crap, there's a lot of it. There's another one. This is goofy corn. There's another one over here. Have you guys ever seen this? Look at that. How weird. Let's go over and check out the other plot. So this is the plot in the middle that was rolled. So this was all rototilled, cul-de-packed, seeded, cul-de-packed. And it looks like we got pretty similar germination here as we did on the other plot, that we skipped those steps. You know, just looking across the whole plot here, it really looks very similar to the other one, as if it really isn't much different, I don't think. You know, we've got pretty similar germination across the whole thing, and I think, you know, the big difference would be is whether or not it rained or not. And the fact that it rained within 24 hours of planting it, I think made it so it's not a big difference. But I think if it didn't rain for a few days, the ground that was cul-de-packed and the seed that was rolled in would be doing much better than the seed that was just spread on top of the dirt. You know, not only because it wouldn't germinate as fast, I think the birds and critters would be able to eat the seed, whereas since it rained so quick, it all germinated before birds and stuff could eat it. So it's looking good. We got the corn screen over here, and I don't see any corn growing on the tips over here like we did on the other plot. we're gonna go ahead and go check out the plots in creek bottom. I did have quite a few questions about the miscanthus grass that was planted here last spring, and I wanted to show you guys how it's doing here. It's growing pretty good. It's, you know, in the spots where it's the tallest, I would say it's about 6 foot, like right here. Yeah, so right here, well, I'd say it's over 6 foot because I'm 6 foot. So, you know, in the tallest areas, I'd say it's 7 foot. And I have it right here on the edge of the road, obviously, to screen the food plot off, and it goes all the way down. But so what I would recommend, you can still see through it pretty easily, especially down here where it gets kind of thin. We did 4 rows. I would do 6, 7 rows actually. I would go thicker with it. I mean, obviously each year it's going to get a little bit bigger, but you can still see through it. Honestly, the best screen that I've, you know, seen or used is corn. Corn grows fast, it grows thick, and totally blocks your view. So we've got 24 rows of corn on the inside of the miscanthus here, which actually screens the food plot, which is what the goal was. So over here we planted 1.5 acres of the harvest salad. So let's go check that out and see how that looks. So this is coming up really nice. You can see all the wheat and rye really came up fast, obviously because we had that rain the next day, but there are beans in here as well. Let's see if we can, there's a bean. So that's a bean right there's the seed. So that bean's coming up nice. There's see if we can find, there's another one right there, bean that's coming up. This is looking good. Looks like everything's pretty much germinated for the most part all the way out across. So this should be a nice green carpet of stuff that is really browse resistant. You know, this stuff will be able to get hit really hard and continue to come up good. So let's go check the creek bottom plots next. Oh, there's my grandpa crushing half of the brassica we have planted, but just checking out my watering system here. We're done with it here. I think we've got plenty of germination and we'll be able to move on. What do you think, Grandpa?
Yeah, this is the first time I've been out in this section.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I did a lot of work to get this open like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This brassica's doing really well in here.
Yeah.
That one over there is not doing so hot. I don't know what the difference was. I got water to this one, and that one I never got water to. So you can see what a difference.
Yeah. Well, what's that one over there?
That is brassica I planted too. It's not growing. Well, we're right here in front of the stump 4, and this is the staging plot. There's been tons of deer in here eating all these apples that are falling out of the tree each night, but this plot was kind of a failure here. This didn't get the water on it that I was able to get on that one over there, so it just kind of sucked because it didn't have the rain that it needed. I mean, there is some tiny brassicas that are just starting to come up in here, but it is way behind compared to obviously those plots over there. Hopefully it comes around eventually and we'll see. I mean, everywhere you look there are some brassicas coming up, like that's right there's a brassica, that right there. So a few more rainy days and this might come back to life, I don't know. But as of right now, it looks pretty rough. A lot of this grass that's coming up, I think, is from the winter rye had headed out, and then when I brush hogged it, I didn't actually spray and kill that. I brush hogged it, then rototilled it all, so I think I just essentially reseeded a lot of that winter rye, which is what's all coming up here, which is fine. I don't mind the winter rye coming up. There's tiny little brassica coming up. We'll give it a few more weeks and see what happens. And you know, I always have the option to come in here with winter rye and just pound it real heavy. Really put it to it with winter rye, and we'll have a food source here no matter what. So let's go check out the Hidey-hole plot out in the back. See how all that clover's doing in those strips that I planted. Okay, we're back here in the staging plot, and as you can see, we got some brassicas growing down here where it was able to stay moist during that dry period. Growing a heck of a batch of mushrooms too. And then as you get up here where the moisture wasn't able to really set in very well, it's not so good. I mean, obviously the clover looks really nice out here. I think I might mow this one more time before the season here. Now over here we planted brassica and then the harvest salad, and there's little bits of brassica coming up in places like right there. The clover's coming up really nice in here. This is all clover, them little tiny things. So the clover's coming up really nice. Brassica's not doing so hot. And then right over here is where the harvest salad starts. Obviously that looks like it's coming up pretty well. Yeah, that don't look bad in here. We'll have to keep watching how it does, but you know, everybody's got the ability, even if they have like a total crop failure, you can always come in, you know, even as late as 2 weeks into September, just pound it with winter rye. You don't have to till it or nothing, just put it right on the ground. There's a rock, which is really unusual. I think that's the first rock I've ever found in this food plot. So you can always fix any issues you have with food plots with winter rye, which is what I'll do most likely on that far plot over there where everything's really stunted really bad. This is where I'd pulled a giant stump out of in here. Wow, look at the beans growing in here. That's a bean, that's a bean. I had that harvest salad has beans in that mix, and that's actually growing really well in here. Lots of them coming up. We'll go ahead and head back and come visit again here in a few days and see how everything's doing then. I also want to mention all the discount codes I have for you guys coming into hunting season. There's obviously Tidewee gets you some huge discounts. You can add KEO-16 right onto any existing discount and get an additional 16% off. So you can get stuff really cheap that way through Tidewee. I have the onX discount code, KEO, get you 20% off on a onX subscription, which are tons of uses for that. You know, I actually use onX to map all these food plots out in here and figure out exactly how much acreage I had. And then I mark all my cell cams and trail cameras on it as well. And then I have the Guard Pro trail camera discount. Those cameras are sweet, check them out. And then the Yacht Club data cards for all these cell cameras, just like this one. That's a real link that I use an Yacht Club data card in, that I get to watch this entire plot, as well as the one in the middle. So take advantage of some of these discount codes if you guys are interested. The links are all in the description. Appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you on the next one.